Monday, February 2nd, 1998. We're on Fuel number 155 on the pre-show. The Disciples of Desolation get a win over Matt Weiss and Key, who are just local hires. Hack and Vic get a win on the pre-show. Vic pins Matt Weiss with the Emptiness, and they get an 11. Adrian Adonis takes on Norman Smiley. Adonis gets a win with a set-out powerbomb. Gets a 38. Not too great for Adrian Adonis. But Norman gets a 44. So one-off appearance from Norman, who currently works with Rival Pro Wrestling. Andrew Martin and Marvelous Mark Merrow get a win for Adonis, or for Martin. Pre-show, just to give him a tryout. Andrew pulls out a win. And a decent match right here for Andrew Martin and Marvelous Mark Merrow, who are working in Rival Pro. Andrew Martin, future test, currently getting a mega push in Rival Pro. Exam is no longer his name, while Merrow is just meddling around in the mid-card. Gets a 61. Also borrowed from Developmental is Taka, and he takes on Billy Kidman and gets an 80. I might have to squeeze in Kidman versus Taka on an episode of up-and-coming Fuel. But an 80 right here for Kidman and Taka. Their great chemistry really helped. And I'm very impressed right there by this. Pre-show main event, Booker T beats Al Snow in 12:55 with the axe kick. And then we head into the show. So commentators run down the card. They're talking about the matches for tonight. First featured match is the finalist for the World Heavyweight Championship title tournament. The Rock will be facing off against Justin Credible. That's our opening contest right after this segment. Also tonight, Triple H versus Lance Storm. Another match booked last week. Storm, Credible have been having problems with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and tonight Triple H gets a chance to take out Storm. Our main event tonight is Rey Mysterio defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Dean Malenko. This match came about after Malenko attacked Rey, hitting him with the ring bell. So that's our card for Fuel. Let's get into our first segment. Owen Hart opens the show. He wants a match against Hack and Vic next week. Gets an 82. The Rock gets a win over Justin Credible, hits him with the rock bottom, gets the 1-2-3, and we get an 80 for this. Afterwards, Justin Credible and Lance Storm brawl with The Rock, and Shawn Michaels ends up coming out to help his opponent for No Love Lost pay-per-view, and it gets a 69. Gene Okerlund interviews the Dudleys backstage. They want a rematch against the APA in a tables match. So they lay out the challenge for Bradshaw and Ron Simmons. 41. DDP gets a win over Shanghai Pierce, hits him with the diamond cutter, and gets the 1-2-3. A 69 right here. Afterwards, the Texas Whippers try to beat down DDP, but he manages to get out of the ring and run through the crowd, evading the Whippers. Goldberg gets a win over Reggie Riggs, hits him with the jackhammer, and Goldberg wins. 44. Mankind cuts a backstage promo talking about The Rock and Shawn Michaels. He congratulates both men and wishes them both good luck in the tournament finals and no love lost. Triple H gets a win over Lance Storm, hits him with the pedigree, and there we go, taking care of Storm tonight. Chris Jericho's backstage. He's complaining about not getting opportunities in GCW. He is the best wrestler on the card on every show that he's a part of, so he doesn't understand why he's not getting opportunities. And Sting interrupts him and tells him that he's not as great as he thinks he is, and gets an 80. Booker T talks to DDP backstage, and he tells him, listen, if the Texas Whippers give you any trouble, I got your back. And DDP says, thanks, Book, I appreciate it. Whether it's Adonis, Pierce, Slazenger, or Duncombe himself, it doesn't matter, because they will feel the bang. And then does the bang thing. 88. Alright, Shawn Michaels is found backstage injured. He is unconscious, he's not moving, and Triple H finds him. and he yells for help. The EMTs come, and Shawn is taken out of here in an ambulance. So gets a 76. I don't know what this will mean for our No Love Lost main event, but Shawn Michaels found injured. Raven has a promo vignette. Hack and Vic will face Owen Hart next week. Nevermore. 48. Main event, Rey Mysterio gets a win over Dean Malenko with a springboard Hurricane Rana after interference from Eddie Guerrero. Gets an 80. And then to end the show, Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero brawl. An 83. Not too bad. Good profits. I didn't actually check if we made a profit last month or not. Should probably check that. We were at 60 million before the end of January, and then now we're in 30 million. So TEW is taxing me to hell. So we're gonna go check that out, and then we're gonna go to Ignition. All right, let's go check that out. That's fine. That's just me. $3 million. $3 million last month. 14 million in miscellaneous. What the hell? Whatever. Complaining is not going to solve the issue. Alright. I'm going to do Saturday Night's Wrestling, and I'll do Ignition. I'll be right back in just one moment with that episode of Ignition. Alright, we're here on Ignition. Let's run down the card. Tonight, we're going to be seeing Perry Saturn in action, taking on Chris Candido. Candido wanted a match to prove he still got it, and he's facing the number one contender to the United States Championship in Perry Saturn. Also tonight, Ken Shamrock and Buff Bagwell will be facing one another on Ignition. In our main event, The Big Show takes on Shane Douglas. And that's happening tonight with Steve Austin as special guest commentator. Alright, let's get into this episode of Ignition. We're opening the show with World Champion Steve Austin cutting a promo, and Brian Pillman comes out, shakes Steve Austin's hand, big smile on his face, and tells him that his favorite time in GCW was teaming with Stone Cold. Austin really doesn't say anything, and Pillman just leaves, all smiles. He's so happy. Gets a 93. Too Cool gets a win against the fabulous Holly Cousins when Sexay pinned Charming Crash Holly with the Tennessee Jam. Too Cool get a win ahead of their tag team title shot next Sunday, 61. The Hardys are brawling with the Brood backstage. Not much to say about that, just a brawl. Alright, Taz gets in the ring, cuts a promo, quick promo, and he says, Satoshi Kojima, get your ass out here right now. Kojima comes out. They brawl for like 7 minutes around the arena, and J.J. Dillon finally comes out. And he books Satoshi Kojima versus Taz in a street fight next week. It's a 66. Perry Saturn gets the win over Chris Candido, hits him with the diving elbow. And a good match right here for Saturn. Gets a 91 ahead of his championship opportunity, an 80. Afterwards, Perry Saturn gets a promo, talks about facing Chris Benoit at No Love Lost and how he is the next United States champion. And when he's done, the camera pans or switch cameras to backstage, and Chris Benoit was watching the whole promo on a monitor. A 72. Val Venus promo video. He's making his debut at No Love Lost. A 34. Dustin Rhodes cuts a promo, and out comes Steve Austin. This is where the championship match at No Love Lost is made official. Dustin versus Austin is happening on pay-per-view in 81. Ken Shamrock gets the win over Buff Bagwell, locks him into the ankle lock, and gets a 70. Ken Shamrock, while he's celebrating, out comes DX, beat him down, and then they grab a microphone. DX cuts a promo talking about how they should be the number one contenders, and out comes GCW Ignition Commissioner J.J. Dillon, and he announces next week all 4 members of DX are taking part in singles matches: Billy Gunn versus someone, China versus someone, Road Dogg versus someone, and X-Pac versus someone. A 64. Canyon gets a win over the Godfather, who hits him with the flatliner, and it gets a 78. Michael Cole is backstage interviewing the World Tag Team Champions, The Undertaker and Kane, talking about, are you nervous or worried about facing Too Cool on pay-per-view? And The Undertaker was like, it's Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hottie. Why in the hell would I be worried? And 75. Michael Cole interviews Chris Benoit facing Perry Saturn. Benoit says Saturn is a formidable opponent for him and the United States Championship, but Benoit wants to bring prestige to the title, being the first champion, so he will not be dropping the title on pay-per-view. A 73. Steve Austin comes out to join the commentary table. He is commentating tonight, his main event, which is up next, so joins commentary. And then a 74. Big Show pins Shane Douglas with the choke slam, and we get a 74 to end the show with an 82. We're fine with that. We'll take it. All right. That was it for today's episode. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want more. We'll see you guys in the next episode, where we will be running an episode of Fuel Ignition, as well as No Love Lost pay-per-view. Have a good one, and goodbye.